Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial of Python. Today we are going to learn about list in detail. So in our previous video tutorial we have learned about list, but today we are going to understand the details of it. So list has so many functions, right? So we can do a lot of functions with the list, like append, extend, reverse, remove, sort, pop, insert, copy, count. So we are going to learn all these things in detail today. And also, other than this, we are going to learn something interesting with list. I'm going back to my PyCharm studio. So let's look at it in action. So I have a list here called my list. It has 10 people's name like Alex, Sam, Liz, John, etc. And I have to do these actions like insert, reverse, sort, all these things with this list. So first we are going to look at what is append and extend, reverse, etc. Okay, so this is my PyCharm studio and I'm going to do the append activity. So append is a very simple thing which you can understand. If we have to add a new item into this specific list, then we can use append. For example, my list got append and the name which we have to append it into the list. The name is Adrian, and if I run it, you can see Adrian got added to the last index of the same list. So now the list has 11 items now. So it added Adrian to the last index. And what if I use insert? Insert is for adding a specific value into a specific index. So insert, and then we have to add the index where we have to add the value, that is I have to add it into the second index, and then the value which I have to add, that is Adrian. So now I will be adding Adrian to the second index. Second index is 0, 1, 2. Liz is in the second index now. So now I will be using this specific function and Liz will be moved to the third index and Adrian will be added to the second index. Let's see it in action. So when I run it, you can see Liz got moved to the third index and Adrian got added to the second index. So that is what is the use of insert. Now let's understand extend. So extend is for adding a set of value into this specific list. For example, I have to add all the items from a specific array into this my list. So for example, I am creating an array with two different values, Adrian and then another person, that is Elisa. So I have to add Adrian and Elisa into this list. So now I will be adding Adrian and Elisa both to the my list. So if I run it, you can see Adrian and Elisa got added to the same list once. Because I don't have, if I have to add two items using the append function, then I have to use append 2 times. Instead of that, I can use extend. Extend will loop through the array one by one and append it into the my list. That's the use of extend, and it's very important in Python. We will get these situations commonly in Python program. So when I run it, you can see Adrian and Elisa got added. The same way, if I have to add 3 items, Elisa, Adrian and Misha. I have to add 3 people into this list. When I run it, you can see Misha also got added to the same list. So what if I have to add one specific value? We don't use this way instead of using array. If I use this way, then what will happen is each of these characters will be splitted into different words and it will be considered as different entity, each of these character, and append it to the my list. You can see A, D, R, I, A, N, R, are added to the same list separately. If I have to just add one value, then we have to use array, because this extend function will be splitting an array, or if we are using a string value, then it will um, split it into characters and add. So if we have to add just one value, then we have to use array and we have to add it this way. So this is how extend will work. So now let's understand reverse. So for example, if I have to reverse the order of this specific array, now the order is Alex, Sam, Liz, John, right? So if I have to reverse the order like Elsa, Brian, Theo, Elizabeth, then I have to use the reverse function. So if I use reverse, you can see it is in the other way around, like Elsa, Brian, Theo. It's printed Elsa, Brian, Theo, because the order of this list got changed. So the same way, if you have to use sort, for example, I have to sort this array. That is, now it is not in the alphabetical order, right? It's Alex, Sam, Liz. It's not in alphabetical order. So if you have to sort it in the alphabetical order, then if I use sort, then it will sort the array into or list into alphabetical order. Alex, Brian, Elizabeth, this is now in the alphabetical order. What if I have to use the descending order, like from Theo, Smith, Sam, again? If I have to reverse the alphabetical order, then I have to use reverse equal to true. So now you can see it reverse the alphabetical order, like Theo, Smith, Sam, Megan, list. And that is the use of sort. Now let's understand remove. So I have to remove a value from this list. For example, I have to remove list from this list. If I run it, you can see list got removed from this list, and now the list has only 9 items. So that's the use of remove. And let's understand pop. So pop is also to remove a value from the list, but the advantage of pop is along with removing the value, it will assign the value. It will return the removed value as well. That's the use of pop. For example, removed name. If I use pop, then that same value will be stored into this removed name variable. If I print it, it's not this pop is not expecting the string value, it is expecting the index. So I have to, second index is less, right? So the second index value will be removed from this list. The same time it will be returning this removed value, and that value will be stored into this removed name variable. If I run it, you can see list got removed from this list and the same value got returned and stored into the removed name variable, and I am printing that. You can see the difference. If I use remove instead of pop and use the name list, if I run it, you can see it removed the value, but it's not returning the value. And you can see the removed name variable is none. That means it's not returning anything. So that's the advantage of pop, and that's the difference between remove and pop. So now let's understand copy. So if I have to copy this list into another list, or copied list, and then copy, and it's not using any argument, and if I use copy, this list will be copied into this copied list variable. So when I run it, both the lists are same, because I am copying this my list into copied list. What if I use just like this instead of using the copy function? If I run it, I will get the same result. You can see I'm getting the same result, but there's a difference between these, right? Let's understand that now. So if I add an item into this copied list, Adrian. If I add an item into the copied list, you can see the value got added to both the list. Like my list also has Adrian and copied list also has Adrian. How is that? Because I'm adding that just to this copied list, right? Then why it get added to the my list as well? So um, that is the difference between assigning like this and also using the copy. If I use copy, it won't add to both the list because it is taking a copy of this list and assigning it to the copied list. That is what it will do if I use this way. If I use this way, then it is saying, Python is saying, this list and this list are same, entirely same. So when we add item to this copied list, that will add to the my list as well because it is saying both the lists are same. So if I do this, the value will be added to both the list. But we have one more option. We can use this way. Using this operator, we are taking all value from the 0th index to the last index. That's what it is doing and keeping that value into the copied list. So this is also same like using the copy operator. So when I do this, you can see the value got added just to the copied list. The my list is still the same. So that is the difference between copy and assigning it using the equal sign. Now let's understand one more thing, that is the count. So I have to find the count of a specific value in the my list, in the copied list. Actually this both are same, right? So I'm not, anyway, I will use the my list. I can remove these things. I don't have to confuse. So I have to take this, I have to take the count of this specific value in this list. So if I run it, you can see list is only one time exist in the list. If I add list into another position also, then if I run it, the count is 2 because it's saying list exists 2 times in this list. If we have to find that, then we have to use the count function. What if I have to find the length of the list? I can use the length function and use my list. So if I do this, you can see 11. 11 is the count of this list. So this is how you can print the length of the list. And we have some cool features with this list in Python. So if I use my list, and we already saw if I use this operator, then it will print the entire array. What if I have to print the array from 0 to the 5th index? So 0 to 5. So what it will do is it will print the value from 0th index to the 5th index. So length, that is the 5 item from this list. It's expecting 0 to 5th index, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Megan is in the 5th index, but this will exclude Megan and print up to the 4th index. That is the use of it. If I have to print Megan as well, then I have to change 5 to 6. Then it will be from 0 to the 5th index, and the 6th index will be excluded. The same way, if I have to print from the reverse order, like from Brian to the first index, then I have to use this way. I have to keep the left side as empty and the right side -1. If I use it, you can see it is printing from Brian to Alex, but it will exclude the last one. If I have to get the last one also, then I have to leave it empty. Then if I run it, it will bring everything. So that is why when we use -1, it will print from the second last position to the 0th index. So what if I have to print from 5th index to the second last position? If I run it, you can see Megan is in the 5th position to Brian is printing here. So this is another another functionality which you can understand. That's very simple. The left side will be from where or from which position, and the right side will be to which position. That's what it means. If we have to print from the last position, then we have to use -1. That will be the second last position to the position which we specified in the left side, and that is how it will work. So for example, if I have to print from the second index to the second last position, then I have to use 2 to -1. So it will print from second index to the second last position. If I have to print everything from the second index, then I have to leave the right side blank. Then it will print from second index to the last index. And you can see how it is working now. And these are all the things which I was supposed to teach you today. And if you have any doubt, add a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching.